Hi y'all, welcome back. Today I'm going to be planting potatoes and I wanted to bring you guys along and share with you how I'm going to be doing that. And I really hope I'm not too late getting those in the ground. It's mid-May and I should have gotten them done at the beginning of April. Uh, so I'm really hoping that I can get a decent harvest on them uh, this year. But as all else, we're going to push through and see what happens. So let's start with the fact that I had to do this video in sessions because the chickens just would not stay out of the area. So I had to put a pause on it, and that's one of the reasons why it took me so long getting these planted. So that's one of the difficulties of having free-range chickens. So we do now have them in pens, so they will not be getting in the garden. All right, and I'll share that with you in a future video. But we'll go ahead and go over what we're going to do to get the bed started. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to that part. Alright guys, now that we were done getting the preparation of the bed here done, okay, I want to share with you the nutrients that I'm going to put down, and I'm going to share with you how that's going to happen, okay, and then share with you how I'm going to cover the potatoes. We're going to mulch, so that's going to be interesting. The nutrients we're going to be using is going to be azomite, okay, bone meal, blood meal, okay, and then I will also be using a little bit of potash, okay, which is fresh from the fireplace. And we're also going to be improvising and just using some potting soil. I do not have any compost, excuse me. I do not have any compost right now to add, so we're going to use what I have on hand, which is just some nice potting soil. Okay, we're going to do that because the bone meal and the azomite and the potash are very dusty. So we're going to mix this so we can spread it without getting too dusted. Okay, so let's go ahead and mix that. Okay, for starters, I'm really hoping that these potatoes are not too far gone that we can't use them, because they are really wild and crazy. Okay, so we're hoping that these aren't too far gone, but we're going to go with it. Okay, so these are the Blue Adirondack potatoes, and I'm going to be planting them whole. I'm not going to be separating them. So we're going to just add some of the bone meal, some of the azomite for the minerals. Azomite has minerals in it, lots of trace minerals. And then here is the bone meal. Okay. And then we're going to just mix that in a little bit to keep it from being too dusty. And then I'm going to spread in a little bit of this potash. And then we'll mix that in. Alright, here you go. It's all mixed in, so it's going to make it help me spread it a little easier. Okay, get them all mixed in good. Okay, so there you go. Alright, so we're not going to spread it any way fancy. We're just going to take it across and spread it like so. Nothing fancy. I'm going to bring you in a little closer and show you how I'm spreading that. Okay, so I know it's hard to tell how it's going down, but just to kind of just sprinkling it all the way down. Oh, just sprinkling it all the way down. Not going crazy. Okay, so here it is all finished. We've spread it. We spread the nutrients across the ground. Okay. Now I'm going to share with you how we're going to put down the potatoes. Okay, so we're not going to do it any fancy way. I'm not a fancy person. I try to be, but it doesn't work. So I'm just going to lay them down the best that I possibly can. I'm going to try to get it to where I don't break these long pieces, the long growth. Okay, so I'm going to lay it to where I don't break that off, hopefully. Okay, and, kind of stagger it throughout the row here. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do is just kind of strategically place them. Strategically. All right, so let me plant those. Let me lay those down, and then I'll bring you back and show you how that happened, or how that turned out. Okay, so I've laid them all down. I know my spacing isn't perfect. We don't eat a lot of potatoes on our diet, but we do like to have a few. So we did plant a few, and Dave chose to have the Blue Adirondack, so that's what we're going to be planting, or that's what we're planting. So the next step is to get these mulched over. I have no fancy way of doing that either, so I'm going to share that with you. We're going to get that mulch and get it covered. All right. All right, that's it. So let me show you what it looks like now. Okay, so here is the potatoes all mulched. Again, like I said, nothing fancy. But we will, of course, put markers on each end so I don't step on them until the potatoes start poking through. As you can see, the whole area is mulched. So we might have an accident if we don't mark. So we're going to mark that. Okay, so I just found some old blocks here. I think it was the last couple blocks I had out there. So I got it marking each end of the bed. So that way I can kind of see where the bed is. Alright. So here's the bed. We'll be updating you guys on the progress on these potatoes. I'll also be doing an update on the potato bed that I did, planting potatoes as perennials instead of annuals. Okay, so look for that video as well. And until next time, guys, happy homesteading.